Number 12. Here we have a bit of a shocker, being Gintama at number 12. While it is one of my favorite anime series of all time, I do feel that Gintama loses some of its magic in manga form. It could be that I watched the anime first before checking out the manga, but to me there's just something about comedy series being a lot funnier animated. As when animated, you can hear the characters' voices react to all the funny scenarios, and seeing certain face expressions animated, in my opinion, are just a lot more funnier than just seeing them in a single panel. And obviously when Gintama gets serious, the action in the anime is a lot better than in the manga. Still though, the manga is an absolutely great read and definitely comedy gold. But again, I just feel it's better off as an anime series, which is why I hope it never stops. But moving on, we have number 11. At number 11, we have the two-way tie between One Punch Man's well-drawn remake and Sengoku Youkou. Starting off with One Punch Man, well, this series may very well be one of the most epic damn series ever, as we have a hero who has basically achieved the goal of being the world's strongest from the very start of the series. Which is not only super funny, but it's also a very interesting concept that leads to some of the most epic fights ever, and some of the panels practically animate themselves. And the upcoming anime for this series is truly going to be a smash hit, as the One Punch hype is strong. Though as epic as this series is, there are plenty of other series that have either enjoyed more or just resonated with me a lot better. But before moving on to number 10, we have Sengoku Youkou. Another epic series I really need to make a remake recommendation for, as sadly this series just doesn't get the love it deserves along with the mangaka's many other works. Seriously, this dude's way too fucking underrated. Sengoku Youkou is the tale of two demonic siblings, one who loves humans and the other who sorta hates them, along with a wimpy Ronin who all journey across ancient Japan to stop evil across the lands, whether it be human or demonic. Now this series is just fantastic with some seriously epic action. I mean, there's a mountain that kicks the shit out of a castle and then later shoots missiles at it. And don't even get me started on the motherfucking beast god, cause that shit way too epic. On top of the epicness, there is also plenty of great laughs, and like most series from this series' author, Sengoku Youkou has a really great cast of characters who all for the most part get really nice amount of development. But the best thing about this series is the story. While the synopsis I gave earlier made the series seem a bit simple, however there are plenty of twists and turns to be found in this series. Hell, this series even changes the focus on its characters later on, yet still manages to maintain the overall flow of the series, which is something I can't say for a lot of other manga series that have attempted to do the same thing. But overall, this series is simply fantastic and definitely deserves more love. So be sure to check it out and see why it's one of my favorites, and maybe be on the lookout for a future redo recommendation. But with that, we move on to number 10. At number 10, we have the manga series of grand adventure, One Piece. Now, at least 4 years back, both the anime and manga for One Piece were my all-time #1 favorite series. However, as we all know, a certain anime and manga series would come and take those spots. On top of that, the love and passion I've felt for the series has gone down since then. As mentioned in my last subscriber special, I do feel that the series has lost some of its touch, which, trust me, back then was something I thought I would never say. But this isn't going to be some sort of One Piece rant video, as I still do enjoy this series very much. I mean, after all, it's in my top 10 favorite manga series. It just dropped some spaces. But let's get on to why I love One Piece. For one thing, it's very creative. Whether you love or hate One Piece, you definitely gotta give this series credit for its creativity. I mean, where else will you find rubber pirates, three-sword swordsmen, Dr. Reindeer, singing Afro skeletons, and a fucking Speedo wearing cyborg? And that's just talking about the main crew. There are plenty of other crazy characters and events that happen in this series, which is why I absolutely love it. On top of that, this series has an amazing world. The world building in One Piece, I still believe, is probably one of the most well done I've ever seen in a manga series. I really admire this series creator for putting so much thought and care into creating such a unique and interesting world for the world of One Piece. However, along with this creativity, One Piece has some great and unique action, even better comedy, an amazing cast of awesome characters, each with a lot of thought put into them, as they all have their own little quirks and backstories that just makes them all feel really special in their own way. And let's not forget this series' amazing sense of adventure, which no matter how far this series may fall as one of my favorites, is something I'll never forget. And now let's sail off to number 9. Chomping down on its way to number 9, we have the manly series Toriko. One of the very few, if not only manga series out there that can fill you up with manly hype as well as hunger. Now, Toriko is one of my favorites for two reasons: manly action and insane creativity, both of which this series is full of, and I absolutely love it for that, because when it comes to being a shonen, it really has the best of both worlds. as Toriko has that overall manliness that is sadly only found in old school shonen series, but at the same time has that unique and kind of silly, colorful world that many shonen series nowadays feature. While it did take me a while to properly get into the series, because as much as I love it now, you have to admit, as a series at first glance, this manga basically looks like people fighting over food. And well, no pun intended, that doesn't really sound that appetizing. I mean, if I really wanted to see people fight over food, I'll just go watch my brothers fight over who gets the last bag of chips. Sure, it's not as manly, but it still is pretty entertaining. But as we all know, Toriko is much more than people fighting over food. It's an awesome shonen series that feels new, as well as a callback to the almost forgotten generation of shonen.